Blaine, and I joined him and the Senator in appreciation and congratulations for all of the victory last week and all the great grassroots work that went forward to get out the common sense message about why it's important to protect agriculture. And certainly there's a lot of threats to our way of life, and this Waters of the U.S. rule from the EPA is certainly another threat. I think it's a federal power grab that needs to be pushed back on at every turn. I call it the Mother May I rule. And if this goes through, I think we're going to have to go to big government and ask Mother May I to plant a crop or to protect our crops or to make any changes or build a terrace or build a pond. Mother May I, can I do this? Can I not? And that's just wrong. I think it's both unconstitutional in that the original intent of the Clean Water Act was, as has been said, a navigable. So you can, for interstate commerce purposes, and that's what the Supreme Court upheld, is for interstate commerce. That's why it was okay. So if you have a barge moving from state to state or a boat, it makes sense for the federal government to have some jurisdiction over those waters. They never intended for the federal government to have jurisdiction over our little creeks or the ditches in our fields or our ponds. That has nothing to do with interstate commerce. And this rule has a very, very disturbing definition of neighboring waters. And that has been alluded to, but part of it would say that any water in a watershed that eventually might get to a creek, which might get to a river, which might get to a natural, is under the jurisdiction of the federal U.S. government. That is wrong. So we can't let this stand. It also is a power grab to our states and local rights. Traditionally, jurisdiction over water, clean water, has been the states' jurisdiction and the local jurisdiction. I see many of our state representatives, state senators here. They're doing a good job overseeing those things. We don't need Washington, D.C. to come into Missouri and to take jurisdiction and ruling over those things. So this is a very serious power grab, and we must, as has been said, I agree, push back on it. I am a co-sponsor of legislation in the House that would undo and prevent this bill. There is, as you know, a comment period where each and every one of us can make input into this proposed rule before October 20th, I believe is the date. I encourage everyone to do that. And hopefully, in the end, the voices of our country, the voices of reason and common sense will prevail in this. But rest assured that I am going to continue to do everything I can to push back on the power grab by the federal government, by the EPA. At breakfast, I visited with the EPA director from this area, came and introduced himself, and he said, let me know how I can be helpful, how EPA can be helpful. And I said, well, you could back off on your rule that takes over our coal power plants and makes our electricity more expensive for us here in Missouri. You could undo the rule proposal for the wood-burning stoves, and you could undo the rule dealing with waters in the U.S. And he said, well, I don't think we're going to do that, but let us know if we can be helpful. So we're going to continue to let them know how they can be helpful. We're not going to give up on this, and I enjoy and appreciate the opportunity and the privilege of working with each and every one of you to make sure common sense prevails at the federal level. Thank you very much.